What up, Tube? What are we doing today? We are at the Girl with Grit studio in Boerne, Texas. I'm going to take you around the studio. This is their upstairs area where they can work on their screen printing, t-shirt design. They also have a photo booth, a studio behind us. We're going to go downstairs to their first floor of the studio where they have their workshop, their marketing area, where they, do all their designs, all their artistic stuff. It's basically their market space, as it says on the wall. And I'll take you around in a second, but shows them how to do airbrush, how to do woodwork. They have an array of tools. Blythe, the director, set up such an awesome workspace for them. And today they're having an open house. Tomorrow we're doing an intro to basic automotive class for them. And we're just trying to take you around here. We're going to head outside right now. All these young ladies have set up their workspace and they're selling their stuff. Everything you see here, it was designed and finished and marketed, and under the instruction of the Girl with Grit program. They also teach them business practices, how to properly do their thing, which is awesome. And you have other volunteers and helpers like Dwayne from Miller Electric, the welding company. He comes out to show, and they're showing the kids how to do metalwork, smithing in this situation. He drove all the way out from Georgia to come help us out. This young lady, Raina, the daughter of Brianna, who is an awesome fabricator and a custom welder herself, she's doing a temporary tattoo on wifey's arm. That's her design. She colored it in. I'll put a quick picture of it on the of it all being completed. But this just shows you the kind of talent that's around in this group. Day 2, we are in Hot Rod Garage in Boerne, Texas. And we're here to do our class for Girl with Grit, our basic intro auto class. We're going to be using the Camry, my parents' Camry. We stole it for the day because it's new and it actually has a spare tire in it, and our Elantra didn't. So Hot Rod Garage is allowing us gracefully to let us use their beautiful shop where they maintenance and do work on these beautiful cars like this Jaguar XK, awesome Camaro, 57 Chevy, along with some other cars they got out in the yard. I'm going to hand the camera over to the wifey. She's going to take care of the filming during the class. I hope you enjoy it. It's a great program. Make sure you look them up, girlwithgrit.com. Girl singular with grit.com in Boerne, Texas. Hope you enjoyed yesterday's marketplace they had that we went through and showed you the studio and everything those awesome talented kids do. Enjoy the class.
On yourself and what you do.
What do I do? I've been around cars pretty much since I was your size. I've owned a shop. I've prepped many a race car. Now, my car stuff I do in my own garage. We are always working on something different. I've done everything from classic Camaros like this one. My wife currently has a 53 Bel Air we're working on. The white Porsche's mine. I've had Toyota Supras. I know a little bit about everything. I'm just here to share it with y'all.
And this is I don't know who this lady is, and I don't know why she's here.
I'm on the board of a nonprofit that helps empower people. That's great.
She's going to be teaching you.
Yes.
So why don't you give them actually a little bio on yourself too?
So my mom is a mechanic, so I grew up as the wrench hander offer. It's great. You get shouted at a lot and you get eyeballed a lot. And it just works. It works. So now I work for toy makers. Y'all know that. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about like basic automotive. I don't want to overwhelm you. I'm going to ask you a lot. Like, did you get that? Did that make sense? And do you have a question? So I want to be interactive with you. I'm not going to lecture you. If It's a lot of hands-on stuff. I want you guys to know how to not get taken advantage of, not be put in some perilous situation where you can't fend for yourself, and to just have a basic knowledge of what's going on. You cannot drive a car around without knowing about fluid, without knowing, like, it's serious stuff, and it's silly stuff once you know it. So, that's what today is about.
Basic. We're gonna cover some really basic things that most people would say, "Oh, well, everybody should know that." Well, honestly, I'm gonna tell you right now that you're gonna come out of this today knowing more than most adults, because I deal with it all the time.
Yes.
Ashley deals with it all the time. A lot of grown-ups really only know how to pour their own gas.
I change a
Beyond
lot
that.
of grown man's tires on the side of the road, and I get a thrill. If
Literally,
I
she
see a
has.
man on the side of the road, yep, we're doing this. We're going to be late for wherever we were going because we're going to change this tire.
So the first thing is, everybody know where to access how to pop the trunk? Because the other thing is, a lot of these new cars don't have a keyhole on the trunk anymore, and most of y'all are going to end up in a newer car probably. So
There's usually a button in the front that has a open trunk. You just press it and it unlocks.
all right, she's teaching the class now.
All right.
No, I want to show you guys this because I think I'm really cool because I literally just
Oh my
figured this out when I got
gosh,
here.
are you
Watch.
serious?
This is the little kid in me. Look what I figured. See, they put this hook here. Check this out.
Yeah.
I found that out this morning, guys.
It comes with your basic, what you need. You're going to break the lugs with this. You're going to stick this in this god-awful, what is this stupid thing called? A scissor jack. These are horrible. It will break and you will feel horrible.
They're literally intended for what you need to do is change one tire.
One thing.
You do if you guys ever get into like working on cars, doing stuff you like with cars, that's not what you want to use in your
Never.
garage for regular stuff, because number one, you'll hate yourself for actually having to jack up a car with that.
Yeah.
They're just not durable.
And it's not steady. Like, see the little feet on this? No. So if any of y'all from January were here, so I came down my first time, went back 2:30 in the morning in Baton Rouge, raining, and got a flat tire coming out of a cemetery. It was a ghost. So now I broke my scissor jack. I broke a volunteer scissor jack and finally got the car up. So now I carry around a tiny little floor jack that you can get for $80. I'm just saying if you travel a lot.
So we're going to show you where the jack point is on the car. Each car has a part under it where on each corner of the vehicle where you can jack up the car safely from. So it's a reinforced piece of metal. It's called a jack point. And you don't even look at it, but I do suggest always, if you're not familiar with your car, going under there and feeling it. It's usually right behind the front tire or right in front of the rear tire. And it's the strongest piece of metal. It looks like 3 scrunched up pieces of metal together.
Yeah.
You never want to jack it up from the plastic. You'll break the
Never.
car and it won't hold. If you
And
start
it'll
jacking
fall
it
off
up
the
and you
jack.
start feeling a crunching, you're probably in the wrong spot.
Yeah. So I'm not as patient as you guys. Are you sure about that?
Yeah, they don't make it easy.
Oh, and I already did this. I already did it like 3/4 of the way. Like I came and pre-did
Oh,
this.
okay.
Look, I'm on TV, guys.
And literally, they
I know
put
how to
that in
save.
there so it doesn't make noise while you're driving and it moves around. I mean, if you lost that while you were doing this, it's not the end of the world.
No.
Just throw the tire back in and you'll be fine. It might rattle a little bit.
This is a standard size donut. Oh yeah, so they don't go more than 50 and you don't go more than 70 miles, and 70 miles is pushing it. And you're hurting your longevity of the tires. They need to be fluffy, but not too fluffy.
Good term.
It's like a lady.
They need fluffy, but not too fluffy.
And in
Let's
the
be
end,
fluffy, it's
all the tires from a car to a truck have their specified amount of recommended air they should have. And we'll show you that as well. I
Yeah,
check my tires once a month, and everybody remember how cold we got in February? You know, it was like, oh, it was a real nice weekend, and all of a sudden there were ice skating down the street. That fluctuation of temperature that Blythe and Ashley were saying, it was the perfect example. Okay? And your tires could be at 35 pounds of pressure, which is normal for this car. And that next morning, because the temperature changed from 60 degrees one day to negative whatever it was the next day, all of a sudden your tire pressure is down at 28 pounds of pressure. There's nothing wrong with your car. It's that the temperature change affected the tire pressure. The same things when they mention when the tires get hot. Ashley mentioned it. It's hot outside right now. If your car has, like this car shows you how much pressure each tire has got. By the time we leave here and get 3 miles down the road, it'll tell you how much pressure it looks. So you might start with 35 and now it's 38. That's not uncommon, okay? Because it's hot, air expands and the pressure will expand. So that'll fit over your lug nuts because it's designed for the car. This is a generic one you could buy at any parts store, Walmart, Target, wherever. They're not expensive. If you don't have one of these in your car because you bought a used car or something, one of the first things you do, go to Walmart, get you one of these. This has 4 different sizes on it, which will cover just about every car. Some trucks require a bigger one, but most, say 90% of the vehicles will cover with this. It'll work the same way as that. And then if you like working on cars, you probably have something fancier. This is actually a breaker bar with a socket on the end that has different size. You can buy different sockets for different lug nuts. This is longer, so you'll see that one's way shorter.
Leverage. This creates leverage, and this is easy, and this is what we're using.
Now, that's the end of one of the jack handles in the shop. You don't have to get something like that. Honestly, for a one-time use emergency in your car, I would just go to Home Depot and buy like a 2-foot piece of pipe that'll fit over the end of this side of this bar and just throw it in your trunk. Because trying to get the lug nuts loose with just this little bar, you can step on it, it's the easiest way.
Yes.
But if we're talking about safety, it's a whole lot easier to put this bar on the end of it, and now you have more leverage, it'll pop a lot easier.
So I've got the bottom, you break up here, you're gonna just do it in, like I said, your whole car is gonna set back. That's normal, it's what it's supposed to do. It freaks me out the first time. So I was like, is it not brace?
Now here's the trick.
Now
Hold on.
power
Same
through.
thing. Now let's move this further out. Now you've increased your
There
leverage.
you go.
Okay. Are you right-handed or left-handed? Okay. Switch your hands,
There we go.
and you can push down with your stronger hand.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's the same.
Is it on? Is it seated?
Sometimes
You gotta
throw
tell
the handle,
me.
You don't know where it's at.
I'm just a little old lady in the car waiting for you to change the tire. I gotta get to my doctor's appointment. Come on, girl. It's about to start raining. My hair's gonna get messed up. There you go.
You got it? Feel at it. Have at it. Jump under there and look at it. One at a time. And if you can look at it, you can feel it. And every car is going to have that. Every newer car is going to have that in about the same spot. So whether it's this car, whether it's that red car out there, my Porsche, whatever, you're going to feel something like that. And that's where you know where you want to jack it up from, because that's a reinforced piece of the frame.
Put pressure on it? Nope, it's made to hold it. Yeah, it's literally made for that. But then this is where you're going, why don't I have AAA? Like, who am I in my life?
I should have listened to Ashley.
I'm not prepared. You're gonna center this. Don't have it all jacked up silly. Like, it's really common sense. Just have it centered before you jack it up, or it'll start slipping around on you.
Here's a cool thing: if you have a breaker bar and it's already loose, take the bar off the socket, so pull it out, and disconnect the socket. Yeah, hold it, pull it out. I'll put the socket on there by itself. On the one you're loosening up, I'll just turn it. See, it's already loose. When my age, and it's like every car had one of those in them. You're like, ah.
Yeah.
And where it pops, it'll stay at a certain point. That's how much air you have. Okay. So you want to line it up. I usually put my thumb on this end and go straight in, and that's it. Just give a little hiss.
Yeah, sorry.
actually pretty
go ahead.
accurate.
Almost every one of these little cars has a new engine cover to make it look pretty. This is what runs your stuff. Your engine needs a certain viscosity to run smoothly. If you put the wrong engine oil in it, I can tell. I have done that. I can tell. I changed my oil very quickly.
Just a crash course on what that means. 0 means it basically can take a lower temperature.
Yes.
And most of the newer cars have 0 or 5 because they have to sell them in Texas and in Minnesota where it gets negative degrees.
Exactly.
If it's not too, the number is too high, if it's a 10 weight and it's negative 20 outside, and you try to start your car, it will start, but the oil takes longer to get to its proper viscosity, and you can damage your engine. Okay, so in this situation, you have to buy oil that's 0.16 to use in this car. Everybody get close enough.
This is your dipstick. I don't want to be like elementary with y'all, but for real, this is your dipstick. It is gonna have markings on it. This one has 2 lines. This bottom line is hell no, don't you crank this car up. This top line is your safe. Yeah, but like if you're halfway full, you know, you're like running a quart low, your car is consuming oil. So check under it if there's no
Or it's been way too long before your last oil change.
Yeah. Don't put Gatorade or soda in here, y'all. And don't put oil in here. Oh God, don't put oil in here.
Well, you can, but it'll make a mess.
Don't. Yeah, and you'll have to change your lines there. Okay, so when wiper fluid or water, my mom uses water.
Well, there's a reason why you don't put window washer fluid in a gallon. It'll take at least a gallon, and a gallon's like $10.
Yes.
And what it is, it's fancy soapy water.
Front, because what it's doing is it's collecting air, it's cooling everything down, it's working to cool the engine. What goes in your radiator is water
And coolant.
and coolant.
Or
And I'm
antifreeze,
gonna
as they
tell
call
you-
it.
Yeah, and I'm never take this cap off when you turn the car off. Yes, it will explode in your
Well,
face.
it's under pressure, that's why.
It under pressure, don't do it. Yeah,
Exactly
just
that.
like
Great song.
So it literally will pop the cap off in your face. This one wouldn't. It would hit.
You don't want to get hot coolant on you.
No.
It's a chemical. It will burn you worse than water.
Yes. It is painful. It hurts.
It'll
even-
burn. It's a chemical. It'll burn worse than water. A lot of Dodges and Jeeps will have them in weird places, like under the seat. I don't know why they put it there, but that's what they do. This is obviously right in front of you. You'll have a negative and positive terminal. Okay. Whenever you work on your car, I tell people undo the negative terminal because the battery can't do anything if the negative terminal is disconnected. If you have a voltmeter, this costs $8 at Harbor Freight Tools. Okay. You set it to the 200, which is how many maximum volts it can read. Okay. You can do this on your own if you can take this off. This comes off. This is your positive. Now don't go by red and black. Look at this. There's a plus and a minus. Plus is positive, minus is negative. If you want to see how your batteries charge, most newer batteries, if they're in good condition, or they should read at least 12 volts when the car is off. Okay, so you put the red on this is the positive, and there's the negative, and it says 12.8, 12.7, 12.8. That's a healthy battery. Most batteries will have a sticker on them to show the date, the month and year they were sold in. Most batteries don't last more than 4 years on cars. I put the cover back on the positive side on accident, sorry.
It's okay, I'm gonna get it. Alright, anything that you can grab, see how it's metal? Grab it, grab it. Take this off. Maybe.
Why are the lights still on?
Smooth operator. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna do this.
Alright, y'all, just a peek at one of the things that Girl with Grit does in regards to their classes and what they offer. I was honored to be a part of that. This class was actually 3 hours long, so it's a longer video than you're used to from my channel, but we condensed it down. We covered in detail a lot of the things that you see an overview here on, but overall, we had a great time. Ashley is awesome. Blythe, the director of the program, is awesome. And honestly, these kids are some of the best students I have had ever, and I've been coaching high school sports for almost 10 years. So that being said, awesome crowd, awesome group. They're very talented, and I know a lot of these kids are going to continue on learning more. They love the car stuff, so a few of them want even more, and I think we're going to have more courses going more into depth and even more into performance stuff. And Girl with Grit has a project that hopefully we get to help them out with and work on. Follow them, girlwithgrit.com. If you're in the San Antonio, Boerne, Canyon Lake, New Braunfels, any of those areas, and you're interested in joining the program, go to their website. A lot of information on there. You do not have to be into cars. They have a lot of other programs, from business to marketing to arts, crafts, anything. Blythe is a very talented person, and whatever age, as long as you're a kid, you can get in on this. They're in Boerne, Texas. Make sure to check them out, and we look forward to the next time we're with them. Have a great week. God bless.